Falling in love with someone who never existed, it sounds like a nightmare. But for Amanda Taylor, it was her reality. At 32, Amanda lived a quiet life in Denver, working from her cozy apartment surrounded by art supplies and houseplants. She wasn't looking for love, just a little connection. One rainy evening, a casual scroll through a dating app changed everything. That's when she saw Jake, a rugged photographer with kind eyes and a profile that mentioned books and dogs. They matched instantly. Jake messaged her first, complimenting her art. Art that wasn't even mentioned in her profile. That should have been the first red flag. But Amanda, craving connection, let it slide. Their conversations were deep, personal. He remembered every little detail about her mom's passing, her fear of thunderstorms, her favorite childhood book. It felt real, but something was off. He always had an excuse to avoid FaceTiming. Bad Wi-Fi, hectic travel, long days. Amanda's friends were suspicious, but she brushed it off. He felt real until the lies started to crack. What began as an online romance spiraled into a chilling web of manipulation and secrets. Who was Jake really? And how did he know so much about her life? Amanda felt like she was floating. For the first time in years, someone made her feel seen. Every morning started with a good morning text from Jake. He'd send photos from the road, sunrises over deserts, quiet forests at dawn, city lights twinkling from rooftops. His messages were poetic, almost like tiny love letters, tucked between the lines of casual conversation. Amanda couldn't believe how lucky she'd gotten. She'd never met a man who noticed so much, who remembered the little things. As weeks turned into months, their bond grew. They had silly inside jokes and serious conversations about childhood traumas and lost dreams. Amanda started sharing more of her art, letting Jake into the vulnerable parts of her world. She'd wake up smiling, rereading his late-night messages. On her mom's birthday, a day Amanda usually spent quietly grieving, Jake sent her a heartfelt message about loss. "Grief," he wrote, "is just love that doesn't know where to go." She cried that night, but not out of sadness. For once, someone truly understood. Still, small red flags fluttered in the background. When she asked to video chat, Jake always had an excuse. His camera was broken, he was on location. The Wi-Fi was bad. Once, Amanda mailed him a custom leather sketchbook with his initials embossed on the cover. He thanked her endlessly, but never sent a photo or mentioned it again. Amanda shrugged it off. Maybe he was just private. But her best friend Chloe wasn't buying it. "Amanda," she said during one of their weekly calls, "you've never even seen this guy's face move. Don't you think that's weird?" Amanda bristled. "You don't get it. Jake knows me better than anyone." Chloe paused. "That's what scares me." The doubt Chloe planted lingered. Then things shifted. Jake started asking deeper questions, intimate ones. Not just about Amanda's dreams or fears, but about her family finances, past relationships, and therapy sessions. He asked about her exes, her college days, her childhood. It was always framed as care, concern. Amanda didn't think much of it at first. If anything, it felt like emotional intimacy. But something in his timing was off. He always knew when she was vulnerable, like he was waiting for the perfect moment to ask. Then Jake brought up a job lead. A boutique in San Francisco was supposedly looking for a new graphic designer. "They'd love your art," he told her. "I showed them your work." Amanda was stunned, excited, nervous. She sent over her portfolio. Jake promised they'd reach out soon. Days passed, nothing. She followed up, still nothing. When Amanda asked for their contact info, Jake got weird. "They're really private," he said. "I probably shouldn't have said anything." Amanda felt her stomach twist. Something wasn't right. She started looking back through their messages. Jake had never mentioned a company name. No emails, no physical addresses. It was all vague. That night, Amanda made a decision. She ran a reverse image search on Jake's profile photo. Her heart pounded. There he was, but not as Jake. The man in the photo was a Swedish model. Over 200,000 Instagram followers, not a photographer. No connection to Amanda. Her world shattered. The weeks after Amanda discovered the truth were a blur. Confusion, anger, and a deep sense of betrayal. Some mornings she reached for her phone, expecting a message from Jake, then remembered Jake never existed. Other times she stared blankly at her screen, trying to work but hearing his voice in her head. It wasn't just about being tricked. It was the emotional intimacy that haunted her. The late-night talks, the private jokes, the comfort he provided. That had felt real, and that was the cruelest part. But her story wasn't over. 3 weeks after cutting off contact with Mark, she received a letter. Not an email, a physical letter, postmarked from Colorado Springs. No return address, just her name in sharp handwriting. Her hands trembled as she opened it. Inside was a single typed page. "I didn't mean to hurt you. I just wanted to feel close to you again. You shut me out, so I found a way to talk to you anyway, and you let me in." That says something, doesn't it? Amanda's stomach turned. There was no apology, no regret, just manipulation. And then came the final, chilling line. "You were never supposed to find out, but now that you have, maybe we can finally talk for real." That night, Amanda couldn't sleep. She locked every window and door, but the feeling of being watched lingered. 2 days later, she got a message from a new number. "You still draw me like you used to?" Her heart dropped. She blocked it, but more came in, from different numbers. It wasn't over. Mark was still watching her. Amanda reached out to Lucas, who helped trace the letter to a public library near Mark's apartment. It was circumstantial, but it confirmed her fear. He was close. She considered going to the police, but without a direct threat, there was little they could do. Chloe, worried for Amanda's safety, called a retired detective, Richard Devlin. Amanda handed over everything: letters, messages, screenshots. Devlin took it seriously. "This isn't just harassment, it's obsession." Within days, he had proof. CCTV footage showed Mark near Amanda's building multiple times. She filed for a restraining order. It was hard, reliving every detail, but the court granted a temporary one. Then Mark retaliated. He hacked her art website and replaced her portfolio with a single image, her old sketchbook, burned. That broke her silence. Amanda went public. She shared her story online, not the full details, but enough to warn others. The response was overwhelming. Women reached out with similar stories. One from Colorado Springs said she dated Mark years ago. He'd become intensely controlling. With mounting pressure and more women coming forward, Amanda's lawyer filed a cyberstalking case. A warrant was issued. 2 weeks later, Mark was arrested. Amanda didn't cry. She didn't cheer. She just exhaled. Finally, she began painting again, not for clients, but for healing. One piece went viral, a faceless man unraveling, while a woman stitched herself back together. She titled it, "The Lie I Loved." Amanda survived, and that was the most powerful part of her story. 6 months later, Amanda walked through her neighborhood as leaves swirled at her feet. The air was crisp, but this fall felt different. She wasn't shivering from fear. She was healing. Still in therapy, still journaling every morning, but no longer stuck. She had stopped chasing deadlines and started creating for herself, for the first time in years. After Mark's arrest, Amanda paused her client work and slowly rebuilt her life. Instead of pouring herself into someone else's story, she began sharing her own. At a cafe with Chloe and Lucas, she laughed, genuinely. That simple joy felt like a breakthrough. Then came the email. A major publishing house wanted her to write a chapter about her experience. Amanda hesitated, but eventually wrote from the heart. Her chapter, Falling for Fiction, went viral. Readers from around the world reached out, grateful that she had spoken the quiet truths out loud. Her trauma hadn't vanished, but now she had boundaries, tools, and people who showed up. And eventually love came again, not in a DM, but in real life. Eli, a gentle graphic novelist, gave her space, safety, and respect. Slowly, Amanda opened up. She launched an art exhibit, Digital Ghosts, that captured her journey through deception, identity, and strength. It sold out. Amanda learned the most powerful lesson of all. Being vulnerable doesn't make you weak, it makes you real. If Amanda's story moved you, hit that like button, drop a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe.